Right, welcome back. Now we're looking at the compulsory quadratic formula question. It's normally 1.1.2 and in some exams the first one, and we ignore the factorization. Now they always, generally, not always, we don't need to, but sometimes say correct to 2 decimal places. So that's just to give you a hint that you can use the quadratic formula. So you can see 4 times 3 would give me 12, not 9. If I say 2 times 3 gives me 6, plus 2 gives me 8. So can't factorize, I can use nature of roots, right? But because I say 2 decimal places, I'll use the quadratic formula, right? So quadratic formula, minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, right? My p value plus 9, a value 4, and my c value negative 3. So there by p, put in positive 9, negative times positive become negative 9. b squared, which will be 9 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, which is negative 3. 2 times a, which in this case is 4. If I simplify, 9 squared is 81, 4 times 3, negative times negative, positive 12, 48 plus 81 gives me 129, so negative 9 plus square root 129 divided by 8, give me 0.29, and negative 9 minus square root 129 divided by 8 gives me negative 2.54. That you can do on your calculator. So mark allocation, very important. 1 mark for substitution. 1 mark for simplification. So sometimes when they say 4 marks, you just want to make sure that is not a negative value, because then we have non-real roots. X equal 0.21 or x equal negative 2.54. Now you may also solve this using completing the square. So you see there 4x squared plus 9x minus 3. To complete the square, I must have the coefficient 1 in front of x squared. So I'm going to divide everything by 4. So therefore it becomes 9 over 4x and 3 divided by 4. If I take the negative 3 over 4. Now to get this here, we follow the following process. So we take the middle term and we times it by half, or we say divide by half. 9 times 1 gives me 9, 4 times 2 gives me 8. From there we square it, 9 over 8 squared, 9 squared, 9 times 9 is 81, 8 times 8, 64. You see I write very beautiful, that's why I use typed out items, right? So that's where the 81 over 64, I add it to both sides. Remember, if I take that over, I'm adding 0 to it, right? So x squared, square root of x squared is x, square root of 81 is 9, square root of 64, 8. So this forms a perfect square, x plus 9 over 8 all squared. 3 over 4, so what I would do, I want to make this 64, 16 times 4, 3 times 16. So just to show you here, I have 3 over 4 times 16 over 16, which gives me 48 over 64, and then 48 plus 81 over 64, see there, 48 plus 81 gives me 129 over 64. Alright, to get rid of the square, I find square root on both sides. So square root there becomes x plus 9 over 8. Square root here, square root of 64 is 8. Square root 129 plus minus. If I take plus 9 over, alright, becomes minus 9 over 8. Denominators are the same, so on the top, minus 9 plus minus square root 129 over 8. Punch in your calculator, minus 9 plus square root 129 divided by 8. Give me 0.29, and negative 9 minus square root 129 divided by 8 gives me negative 2.5. Alright? Adding 81 on both sides, 1 mark. Simplifying. Right? But I guess we all agree that solving it via the quadratic formula would be easier. I know some of you prefer the more complex process. It is entirely your choice which one you want to follow. Right? All the best. Continue practicing. Don't give up. You will succeed. Bye.